What is going on, everyone? Thank you for being here on a Saturday night. Hopefully, we're coming through loud and clear. We got Mr. NC Relic Hunter in with us tonight. Michael, we're so happy to have you here.
Good evening, guys. Hope everybody's doing great tonight on this
Yeah.
cool, wet day here in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, it's been a nice cool day here too. You can see I'm sort of bundled up, Michael. I got my hoodie on and all this sort of stuff because it's been a cool one. It's been wet. It's been raining all day. I've been stuck inside watching college football for most of the day. How about you, Michael? What you been up to today?
About the same. Stuck inside watching college football too.
Watching some college football. We got a lot of people in here, Michael. We got 30 people in the house tonight. Let's give some quick shout outs to everyone. And we're pretty full, Michael. Got a lot of people in here. So let's start with Mr. Wisco Detect. We are so happy to have him in here tonight. And thank you, Wisco. Wisco is one of the first members of the SRA membership program, which we do have up now on YouTube. What it does is it actually gets you a loyalty badge. We are going to be doing an exclusive live stream monthly where it's just for members only for that live stream. But we're still going to keep doing our regular live streams as well. But that one will be exclusively for members. And they get loyalty badges, which will appear when they leave a comment. Anytime we do a video or anytime they comment on a video or a live stream, then their loyalty badge will pop up there beside them as well. If you are interested in joining the SRA membership program, which is called the True Relic Hunter level, which is at $9.99, you can sign up for it. You can click the join button underneath the video, but you can also go over to the community and you'll see that I've posted a post there where you can click on that link and you can join there if you're interested. No, you don't have to, but again, it helps support the channel. It also gives you that exclusive video that we're going to do once a month, and it also gives you the loyalty badge to show that you are a big time supporter. We might be doing some other things on down the road, like with giveaways for members only, as far as that part goes. So stay tuned, and if you haven't and you want to, click on that join button and join the membership level. And Michael may be on there with me for a few videos and may have some other special guests on there too. So if you're interested, sign up for it. I would greatly appreciate it. It goes straight back into our channel. But let's keep on with recognizing some people tonight. We have Chris and Damian Thorne in the house. Damian's in here. Chris is in here with us. We got Sniff It Out in here with us. Glad to have him. Sonny Coley's in here. Glad to have her. Wild here is in here. Glad to have him. James Letner, always a big supporter of the channel. Digging Daryl, also big supporter of the channel. Tesh Ridge Digger, always here with us. We appreciate him. Joe Dirt, glad to have him. Carson Chris, glad to have you in here tonight, Carson Chris. Ricky Bennett, always here too. Carson Chris says he got skunked today, Michael. His weather must have been better than our weather, right?
Yeah, and I think Sonny thinks that he ran into a skunk.
Oh Lord. So glad to have Carson Chris in the house. Surfside Dan's in here with us. I've been working on a video today that Surfside Dan and I sort of collaborated in on, which I'm hoping to have that up. And I might even talk a little bit about that in just a few minutes and share that with you guys. Michael K. Williams is in here with us. Let's see who else. Metal Detecting with the CZ Kid. Glad to have him as always. Super knowledgeable guy. Tin Man is in here with us. Glad to have him. Get That Treasure. Always nice. T-Bird's Digging. Glad to have him in here. DC Diggins in here. Glad to have him. Bart Cubbins is in here. Yakina One is coming in from Japan, Michael. So we got an international audience tonight.
That's cool.
Glad to have you here from Japan. Workman's Adventure is in here. And I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Whoa, we got some more. Jeremy Duty just showed up with us. So, again, we got a lot of great people in here tonight, some very knowledgeable people, Michael. And we are super excited to be coming to you live on a Saturday night. Metal Detecting with the CZ Kid says he pulled a wheat, a 43 Merc, and a 46 Jefferson today at a beat-up park here in Pensacola. So, Metal Detecting with CZ Kid, what were you using in that park? That would be really, really cool to find out. So, yes, definitely let us know what your setup was for today. That would be really cool. Digging Daryl, thank you so much for signing up for membership. Really appreciate that. We're trying to grow the channel. We're trying to do some other things too, branch out a little bit. And of course, we got some great content coming for our members too, just on that membership channel. So thank you so much, Digging Daryl. You're an awesome guy. Really appreciate you doing that for us. So again, thank you. Metal Detecting with CZ Kid says Silver Slayer program by Northwest Georgia. That's the one that's the fast program, I believe. Isn't that right, Michael?
Yeah. Yeah, he goes, I guess on the form, he goes by Rattlehead.
Yeah.
It's based on the fast program. I think his pitch, and he notches up, to maybe the mid 80s, I think.
Yeah, I've actually run that program too.
Yeah.
I've notched all the way up to 88, but I think you saw me when I was doing that too, and some of those Wheaties would ring in right at that 88, 89 breakthrough in some cases. But I love that program. That's a great program. Congratulations, Metal Detecting with the CZ Kid. We really appreciate you sharing that information with us. So, as always, we always like to begin our show with not just our shout outs, but we also like to begin with some of our finds that were submitted by some of our followers and subscribers. So that's one of the first things that I always like to do is share those finds. So let's look at some of the great finds that were submitted to me. And if you're interested in sharing your finds, you can always email me the pictures, the story, to my email here, sransc@gmail.com, and we will get your finds up on the channel, showing it on the live stream. But we got some good ones tonight, and one of them is outstanding. And I think Michael has already seen this find, but we got a really good one, and then we got some other good ones too from some parks and some other things too. So I can't wait to share these with you. So without further ado, Michael, let's take a look at these great finds that were submitted from this past week. So we looking at this first find was submitted by Mr. Shane Bramlett. And this is a boot pistol. And he actually found the maker's mark of the boot pistol as well on here. So again, really, really cool find. Of course, he doesn't have the whole pistol because naturally the wood's deteriorated, but he's got most of the barrel and most of the design on the outside of it. But Shane found this. This is a beautiful find. Almost as good as what Dan and I found when we found that gun at the lot. So this is a really, really cool find. What do you think about this one, Michael?
That's a really neat find, and it's one design I hadn't really seen a lot of. That's one of the first ones I've seen with that. The hammer is kind of centered in the middle of the block of the gun there. Most of them are all set to one side.
Yeah, that is so cool. That is an outstanding find by Shane and really, really cool. And I was so glad that he shared that with us and allowed us to put that up on the channel. And I know that he was probably really ecstatic when he found that for sure. So, Shane, congratulations. And again, super, super, super fun. So let's look at our next set of finds. This was submitted by I think he goes Ben Boggs on here, but he's not with us tonight. It's Ben, I don't know if it's Boggus or just Boggs. What do you think, Michael?
I think it's Bogus.
Okay, so Ben Boggus. So he found this little heart-shaped, looks like a pendant or something to go on the end of a necklace. He said the diamonds were fake, but he wasn't really sure about the gold part of it. But real interesting find. He found it in a park. He also found some great coins here that you can see. He's got a Standing Liberty. He's got a Barber. He's got a Merc. He's got a Buffalo. He's got an Indian head. And then he's got a little glove with a baseball in it. It's a little pendant. And then he said he went to another park and he found another Indian and a buffalo. Looks like 3 Indians, a buffalo, and then he got 2 barbers, and it looks like he got him a Rosie too. So he really racked up in that park, and I think he said he found both of these pictures of coins. I think he found both of those in the same park, is what he told me. So again, super, super finds. Love sharing the finds. If you're interested in us putting your finds up on the live stream, again, submit it to srансc@gmail.com, and we'll try to get your finds up on our next live stream. But again, super finds by our followers, subscribers. Always great to have those things on the channel. So we are super excited to show those off for our outstanding followers and subscribers. What do you think about those, Michael?
Those are some great coins there. You know, if you're hunting a park and you're finding barbers and Indian heads, it's a pretty old park, and you know, you stand a chance you could find some seeded coins there too.
Right, yeah. So I love coin shooting, and we just talked about that a few minutes ago. Coin shooting is so much fun, and then I think CZ Kid was saying he used that Silver Slayer program that Rattlehead or Northwest Georgia uses, and that's a great program. And I've used that program, and it really does knock out those silver coins out of these parks and tot lots and wherever you're hunting, old house sites, because you're really doing some specialized digging when you use that program and you're mainly looking for silver. Have you ever tried that program, Michael?
I have tried it, and it works really good for coins. And one thing to remember, and I think Rattlehead, the guy that come up with that program, he I think he's backed off of his notch a little bit on that as well, because if you get in any iron or anything, it can pull that signal down, and you don't want to miss any of those borderline, Indian heads or
Right.
So,
Well, those Indian heads will ring up almost like a silver dime. I mean, they're really close running that program in that fast program. So I totally get that. So again, if you're interested in sharing your finds, you can send them to srансc@gmail.com, and we'll get your finds up on our finds of the week by our subscribers and followers. And always great and fun to see what everyone else is finding when they're out there. So again, thank you guys. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Shane, for sharing your finds with me. And we look forward to having a lot more next week to share with everyone on the channel. So thank you again, and we appreciate it. So, Michael, let's talk a little bit about. We've heard a lot about programs and settings and those types of things over the last few weeks. And one of the things that I think Michael will agree with me on too is when you are messing with programs, one of the things that and I said this the other night too, was, you can sit there and you can play around with those programs, and you can take whatever program it is that you really enjoy using, and you can modify it to suit your needs. And that's the beauty of the XP Deus 2, is to be able to modify it to what you like for it to be. XP has designed these programs in such a way that they are best suited for whatever hunting environment you're going into. But they don't want you to dramatically change these things. If you dramatically change these programs, then you're really putting yourself in a bind in some cases. So just be careful. And I think Michael will agree with me on this too, that there are basically, really a few settings that, you pretty much always adjust based on your sight. And that's going to be sensitivity. That's going to be reactivity. Those two are going to be the two that you probably mess with the most, based on the amount of trash content and stuff like that. But the sensitivity and reactivity are the two that a lot of people are going to adjust right off the bat. And the discrimination. And, those three are the ones that I might adjust occasionally, suiting my sights. But again, be careful with that. The notch is already set on some of these programs, and be careful with notch too, because you can have negative effects when you start really messing around with the notch. Michael, what do you think about that?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Most of the time, I rarely, um, mess with my disc. I will adjust it some, but the factory disc, it's pretty spot on most of the programs.
Right.
And notch, like what I talked about earlier, you can, so some of their targets are pulled down by iron a little bit, and you got to be careful, running that notch. Like we talked about, it could. I tend to kind of run mine more open relic hunting now. I know
Right.
coin shooters, they like to run theirs up higher, and I understand that, to find the coins and not dig a lot of trash and
Right, right. And
have
Bart
more on the
Coven says,
targets.
I know, he says, I know this is specifically XP related, but do you think, yes, it sure does, Bart. And those are the ones that are the most common on the machines. Now, you could get a machine where you can adjust the reactivity, or, any of that kind of stuff. But the reactivity, discrimination, sensitivity, those are the things that I really look at first when I go into a site. How much do I really need to adjust that? I've been playing around with discrimination, and I've been hunting a really heavily loaded iron sight, and the lowest that I could run it and feel comfortable with it was really around 5.4, is what I found out the other day. Now, could you run it lower than that? Yes, you could. But again, you don't know what the negative connotations are going to be for running it that low. And that's where I think you can get yourself into a little bit of trouble. But, hey, if you want to try it, try it. But again, you know, I don't, I don't think XP designed these machines and these programs to run them extremely low, especially on the discrimination. But the reactivity, sensitivity, discrimination, those are the three things that I really look at first when I go into a site. And again, it's depending on trash. It's depending on what type of trash it is, whether it's iron, whether it's modern trash, and so on. So those are some things that I look at when I first go into a site. Michael, are there anything else that you look at too?
Yeah, I mean I pretty much look at the same things you're talking about there, and
Right.
it's just I was reading the comments here, but CZ Kid is right. He says notch too much and you will clip your tones, and you may mistaken it for a junk. And
Right.
I've ran into that too. When it's borderline, you know, on that notch. It's going in and out on that ID, and it's you could mistake it for a junk target or even iron. But
Right. And CZ is a really good metal detectorist. And I know that. I've seen some of the stuff he's found, I've seen his videos. And again, he's sort of affirming what we're saying right here. You start notching out and messing with that notch way too much, and you could really put yourself in a bind. But, I, just like we just said, that Silver Slayer program, you can, I think he's got it notched all the way up to 80 something. But again, you're doing selective digging. You're mainly looking for a silver coin when you start notching out that high. So again, but be careful with notch and be careful with the scrim, because you can really, those programs are set up that way by XP, and they wouldn't have set them up that way if there wasn't something that they knew if you started monkeying around with it too much. The beauty
right.
of the XP is the ability to be able to change these settings. But I don't know
Right.
how dramatically you need to change these settings. That's all I'm saying. Right, Michael?
Well, like that Silver Slayer program there, I think it was originally, you know, I think 87 was what it was notched out to. But if it's a site that you can go back and hunt, like a park or something, you may want to start at 87, hunt it. And if you can go back another day, you may say, well, I'm going to back it off to 82 and run it again. And I think you may find a few more coins that maybe just fell right below that 87.
Right.
If it's a spot you can go back to, and hunt.
Well, and you'll notice that most of the programs are set to 6.8 for the discrimination.
Right.
And there's a reason for that too. So again, just be careful. If you want to run negative numbers or you want to run it all the way down to zero, have at it. But again, XP, and this was straight from XP last week, said when you start running those things down too low, that this makes this machine unpredictable. So be very careful with that. And I heard that directly from XP last week about it making the machine unstable, unpredictable, and you don't know what you're getting when you start messing around with that that discrimination, running it a little bit different. Now on the Deus One, you could get away with running some negative numbers. Again, you're opening up that machine, but you don't know what the negative impacts are going to be of that, and are you going to miss some other things too? So just be aware of that. Carson Chris brings up a great point, and this was something too that Michael and I wanted to talk about tonight. Carson Chris says, I ran Goldfield all day long in a Nevada nugget site, ran very quiet, even under power lines. So Michael went out last weekend, and I think I showed Michael's find. He found a South Carolina Civil War button, and Michael was running Goldfield. He was running 1.10. Michael, tell us a little bit about your experience with Goldfield the other day and running it, and what you saw and why Goldfield might have been the best choice for you on the site that you were hunting.
Well, the site I was hunting, it's a agricultural field, and it's been fertilized heavy for years, and it's hotter ground because the pinpointer will actually go off on the ground. You got to ground balance it on the ground when you dig it up.
Right.
And I tried sensitive full tones, which it wasn't terrible. It was just a little bit noisy, fast too, but I got the best results with Goldfield as far as running smooth and quiet, and still getting decent depth with it, picking through the targets in that mineralized ground. So
Right. So that mineralized dirt and running Goldfield tended to work really well with that mineralized dirt. Correct, Michael?
that's right.
Right. And Dan and I are actually going to be together tomorrow. We're hoping, if the weather will cooperate. And Dan's going to be bringing me some hot soil from up in Virginia. And we're going to be trying that out. And I might even take Goldfield and run it over some of that hot dirt and see how it does and how deep I can get with Goldfield. How deep was the target that you dug on last week, Michael, with Goldfield?
If I remember, it's around 6 inches. And
So
another thing to remember too, I was running 1.1, and if you look at the latest 2.0 update, it's the Goldfield has been improved in the 2.0 update. So I'm kind of eager to go back and update to 2.0, and I want to go back and try and see if it's
right,
running even better in
right,
in that
right.
ground.
So Wild here says that he notches to 40 if looking for nickels, 78 or 80 for Indians, and better. So I mean, and that's fine, Wild here, because what you're doing is you're selective digging, but just going in and randomly taking out notch out of some things and trying to make those things work. Sometimes that can be sort of cumbersome, but
There's a
I really have no problem with what you're showing, because I think that's superb, because again, you're selective digging, you know what those numbers are, you know what that sound sounds like, and so you're notching just for those specific targets, which is great.
With Joe Dirt, he brought up that sensitive full tone disc is set at -6.4. I think we talked about that either in the last show or the show before, where I think in 0.71, I believe it was set at that.
Right.
But if you remember, they've made changes in 1.0 and 1.1, major changes to sensitive full tones, and now it is default to 6.8, I believe. Right, Brian?
Right, it is. It's set at 6.8 on 1.10, and 2.0, I believe.
Right, and
I
2.0.
haven't upgraded all my remotes to 2.0, but I'm pretty sure it's 6.8 with this last update. So again, that's great. Wild here's got another good comment here. He says running at 40 lets you know target density. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So Wild here, I mean, tell me how that's actually telling you that as far as density. I'm curious now. Have you ever run your? All right, he's talking about 40 at the max
Max,
frequency.
max
Yeah, okay.
frequency.
I thought he
Yeah.
was talking about notch. I was going like, how's that tell? But yeah, I get you. Yeah, and this is also from XP as well.
Right.
40 kilohertz performs the best in iron, in heavy iron. So if you're going to be running in heavy iron, 40 kilohertz max frequency is what's recommended, and that came straight from XP. So, and that's what I've been running. That's what Michael's been running too. So yeah, 40 kilohertz. And so Wild here is exactly right. It will definitely help you with that, and it'll also, like he just said, target density. It'll also tell you whether, like he said, something small or something big. You can tell a little bit more running in 40 kilohertz. Thank you, Wild here, for sharing that. That's an awesome comment. What do you think, Michael?
I agree with that. If you're an iron, 40 is the way to go. Of course, we know that XP, that comes straight from XP.
Mm-hmm. XP's told me that. XP's told me about, be careful with running the scrim too low, that it makes it unpredictable. So again, those are things straight from the manufacturer. So, be aware of that. But if you want to try it and see what happens. But I'm just going on what I've been told from XP. So again, we'll try to, do those things the way they're saying, because they've tested these things thoroughly and they know what that machine is going to do for sure. So Goldfield program in 2.0 is set up to look for smaller nuggets, gold nuggets. And so Michael used it, and he's going to try it the next time he goes back out there with the updated version at 2.0 in that mineralized soil. And we're going to see what Michael can find. So again, running that Goldfield program is definitely helping in mineralized soil and helping you with small targets as well. Surfside Dan says, I thought that 2.0 only added the Xtreme program, and all other programs are still running 1.10. I think he meant 1.10. Dan, they did help out with the Goldfield program. So that
Right.
was one of the other additions. The only other addition that I know of is to help out with the bone conduction headphones for those people that dive. Then that would be one for them.
Yeah,
But
Dan, it's supposed to have improved the sensitivity to smaller targets,
right,
hence the gold nuggets. But smaller buttons also, or any of the small cut coins, I mean that could help on that as well.
right. And James is in the house. James, glad to have you here. James is a big supporter of the channel. He follows me on Facebook, Instagram. He's all over, but he always leaves a very nice comment. And I'm glad to have James here with us tonight. So definitely glad to have him. And if any of you have a Facebook account or uh, Instagram account, please follow me. I'm also on there as Southern Relic Adventures. I'm also on TikTok and I'm also on X. So I am on all those platforms. And some of it is the same content, some of it can be a little bit different. But again, that would only help me out if you have those other platforms or you're part of those other platforms. Check those out, and I would greatly appreciate it. So, Michael, another thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is something that we've sort of alluded to in some cases, but we haven't. So, the other thing that I wanted to discuss tonight is accessories. So, what are some things that you have when you take out to the field? What are some of the main things that you go out with?
Um, of course, I have my XP Finds pouch. I like to carry a soft bristle brush, and sometimes I do carry a little spray bottle.
Right,
Um, I, Most of the time, I try to, if I can remember, to get my gloves. I, you know,
right.
I take a pair of gloves with me. I usually carry a couple of shovels, as a backup, and I don't carry them out in the field, but I'll carry them in my truck.
Yeah, we always have a backup shovel for sure.
Right.
So Tim Man brought up another one since we're finishing up a little bit on the programs. He says, as I hunt close to the edge of the marsh, should I switch the dive program to handle the salt? Yes, if you're hunting in a saltwater marsh, definitely. Like down near Charleston, where I will go sometimes, you get around some of those marshes, and the salt water is real bad in the sand and in the pluff mud and that kind of stuff. And you definitely could use dive. And I'm telling you, dive is extremely deep. So I would recommend that, especially around some of those saltwater marshes. Michael, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess, or beach, or I guess beach sensitive. You just adjust your uh, uh, what is it called? Well, yeah, I mean, you're probably going to be the one to answer that when you hunt the
Uh,
beach a lot more than I do. Your
Well,
salt sensitivity,
you can adjust
yeah,
the salt sensitivity there
right, on the
on
dive as
on
well.
dive. But the good thing about dive is you can adjust the max frequency too if you set it up in full tones. And
Okay,
I've had a lot of success with dive on the beach, running it in that max frequency a little bit higher, and I'm getting a lot of depth on the beach running that program set up that way in full tones and running the dive program. I love dive. I actually do. And it's very stable. And you can set that salt sensitivity at around 7, and it works really well. Wild here, that's what I would recommend too. If you're, or was it wild here? No, Tin Man. Tin Man, that's what I would recommend too if you're going to be using it near salt water. Damien Thorne. He says, "Do you have an OnlyFans page yet?" No, I haven't done my OnlyFans yet. So, but I got everything else. No OnlyFans. Michael, you got OnlyFans?
I don't even know what that is.
It's usually for scantily clad women.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, no.
yeah. So, and Damien wants to know if I've got one. Appreciate it, Damien. Bart Coven says, I'm not on Face Space very often, but I may have to make an exception. I'd appreciate that, Bart. Just go over there and check it out. Again, no, you don't have to, but I do have those other accounts, and that just helps me out. So if you guys are over there, I would appreciate it. Blasted Cat says, no Facebook or any other, just old YouTube. And YouTube is reliable. It's good. I'm probably on YouTube just about as much. So yes, again, if you're on YouTube, you're still getting a lot of the same content. But if you are on those other platforms, just hit that follow button. I would greatly appreciate it. Wild here says Illinois, no Civil War relics up here. Well, you never know. You really don't. I've seen some things come out of Illinois, Wisconsin, Ohio, and they've been Civil War relics in those areas, but you just never know. You never know what you're going to find. That's the
Yeah,
good.
just remember those guys, that were in the Union Army had to come home.
Right.
And a lot of those old house sites there, you can find Civil War relics, just where they came home, lost their buttons off their coats or whatnot.
Exactly. Metal detecting with the CZ Kid says, does salt sensitivity affect depth? I have not seen it affect depth at all, CZ Kid. I run mine usually around 7. You can run it down a little bit lower, but I think adding more filter is going to, it could hurt you as far as the target ID on it. But I usually run mine around 7 on my beaches. Everybody's beaches are different, so that's something that you might want to go out and play with based on the types of sand that you're hunting in and on those beaches. But I usually run mine around 7. It's a good middle of the road. You can run at 6, 5, and just see what works. But I usually run mine around 7. T-Birds Digging says, take electrical tape. My carbon fiber shaft plastic rivets broke last week. Electrical tape has saved me several times through the years. Oh no, that's not good. So how did it break, T-Birds Digging? I'm curious. How did it break? That's interesting. Okay, so we were sort of talking about accessories. We got a little bit off track, but let's look at, I'm going to show you guys my my Amazon page. And again, I do have an Amazon affiliate page. If you're interested in something that we're showing, you can go over there and check it out. You don't have to, but I'm just showing you some of the things that I have on that page. And these are some of the accessories that I carry with me out in the field. So again, this is my Amazon affiliate page. I do make commission off of it. I do have to make that disclaimer. But again, these are a lot of the things that I use running, going out in the field and going out detecting. So I'm going to share these with you guys real quick. We'll just go through them. And let me share my screen here. If we can add that. And of course, these are some accessories and things that I have and sometimes carry in my pack. Of course, this is a power bank made by Anchor. It's $49.99. I always love carrying a power bank. Michael, you carry a power bank?
I have an Anchor power bank in my 280 backpack.
Yeah. You don't want to get out in the field and you die. And this is a quick way to maybe juice it up a little bit, your coil or your remote in case it were to die. But a good way to juice it up with that Anchor power bank. Of course, the charging clip, I know everybody has to have these as well. Sometimes I will, I'll buy a couple of them just to have as replacements because they're not the best design in the world, unfortunately, but they get the job done. But again, it's always good to have some extra charging clips. Again, the cord, the charging cable, which you see on here. Again, another Anchor power bank. I always love having those available to me. The backpack, which I showed off a few weeks ago, the XP backpack. This is the 240, which is the smaller version. Michael, you have this one, correct?
Yeah, I have the 240 and the 280.
Right. So the 240 is a little bit smaller. It's not going to hold as much gear, but it's an excellent backpack at $69.95. That's a pretty good deal, especially if you're going to be doing any walking. And again, it's relic hunting season. That was the title of this video. Hey, it's getting ready. We're getting ready to get out there. It's going to be cooler. No snakes, no poison ivy, none of that stuff. And a lot of us are going to be heading out into the woods. So that's why I thought today would be a good time to go ahead and sort of talk about some of those things you might need, and some accessories that you might need. And here's if you see here on the screen, here's the 280 backpack. Also a very nice one. It's $149. I can get all three of my coils in there, as well as my shaft. I can put a couple of WS6s in there. I can put my batteries in there, my cameras in there, and I can carry everything that I need for my metal detecting adventure. And the way that they've got this harness on this really makes it very comfortable to put on your back. Doesn't it, Michael?
Yeah, it's padded on the back side, and it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
The 240 in the summer months, it's a lighter weight when it is a little bit cooler against your back, and I do like to use it in the summer months.
Right. And I'll show you guys real quick. I've got my backpack here, which I've shown before, but I'll do it again. But let me get here, Michael. I'm gonna get off of this real quick. So here's the 280 backpack here that I have. And again, it's got plenty of pocket space on it. It's nice. It's got the nice, like Michael was saying, you got the pads on the back. But I love this backpack. You got plenty of things that you can clip on. It's got plenty of pockets. You can really make it snug. It's got a rain cover, but it does have a lot of nice things on it. So again, the 280 is definitely one that you might want to have if you plan on going on any walking trips or you're doing any long walks, because again, you can carry all of your stuff in this nice XP 280 backpack. So again, a backpack is definitely one that you are going to want to have in your arsenal. So let's go back, Michael, and the next one on here is the 13-inch coil. And the 13-inch coil is one of my favorites. I cannot believe the unmasking capabilities of the 13-inch coil. Michael, how about with you? 13-inch coil.
It's a great coil to have, and seems like the target's at depth. It is a little bit deeper, I would say, not a whole lot than 11, but just the audio of the targets at depth. I mean, it really jumps out at you, and like you said, for a 13-inch coil, I don't think there's any coil on the market that'll separate as good as that 13-inch coil.
Right. So that 13-inch coil, metal detecting with CZ Kid, says I've had my 280 for a few years now. Like it. Used to hold my XP Deus 1 and all the coils minus the 13-inch, as I did not have it long. The 13-inch now, though, for the Deus 2, I've loved using that coil. But Michael and I will tell you one little secret. Don't ever start off with the 9-inch and then go to the 13, right, Michael?
That's right. It's a big difference.
You better start with the 13 and go to the 9.
Right. It's light for a 13-inch coil, but it's just like a shock to you going from the 9 to the 13. I mean, you want to start out with 13 and go to the 9 if you're going to do that.
Right. The 13-inch coil is listed on Amazon here for $3.99, but an excellent coil to have in your arsenal. And you can cover a lot of ground with it, but it is also an excellent unmasker. So again, and I've got my 13 in my 280 backpack. I've got my 11 in my 280 backpack. And I carry all 3 coils in that backpack, and just awesome. The next thing on here, the audio adapter for the WS6. If you had WS6 headphones and you want to hook them up, this is something that's definitely a necessity at $11.95. That way you can plug in for it. But awesome to have, and you can run whatever headphones you want to with it because it comes with the 3.5mm jack. And Michael, you've got a few of these, I know.
Right. Yeah, I have a couple of those.
Yeah,
And I like to, in the summertime, running earbuds in the South is you about have to. Or I mean, the WSA two back phones, they're a great option too. But I do like to run the earbuds because they're so lightweight in the summertime.
right. The next thing on here is the toothbrush that, a lot of us need to clean off our fines. This is just a really cheap one, but it's one that you can fold up and throw into your pouch or throw it into your pocket or whatever. But you can carry it around to clean off your fines. But always nice to have one of these. If you got a WS6 and you need a little pair of headphones, we've got these headphones here. They're green. But yeah, I think you can get them in all kinds of colors, but also something great to have. Another one for the WS6 is the little pouch that you see here. Little pouch. Also, you can put your WS6 into it, and you can hook up a pair of headphones and clip it on your shirt or wherever, and makes it pretty nice, doesn't it, Michael?
It does. It's really nice. You can hook it on your backpack, your 280.
Right. Yeah, you could hook it right on your 280 backpack and walk and swing at the same time, lighten up your machine. Headphones, I know a lot of us have headphones, but if you got WS6s or you have the WSA2s, and then these are a pair of the WSA2 XL headphones. I'm using them with my Xtrem, but I'm also using them during the winter because it's going to be a little bit cooler out there. But these are the XL2s, great set of headphones, extra headphones to have, during the winter months, or if you really need to hear those faint targets. Shovel, one that I use is the Root Slayer. This is sort of a modified version of the Root Slayer, but it does work really well. It's a little lighter, a little smaller nose on it, but it is also an excellent one to have. CKG sand scoops, which I got featured on here. Also great for beach hunters. CKG makes a great product, carbon graphite shaft, and you can see those there as well. So CKG makes a great sand scoop. But if you're going to do any beach hunting, I highly recommend CKG. Our fines pouch on here for $27.95, the XP fines pouch. Excellent little pouch. You can slide your pinpointer on there with the clip. And then, of course, the MI6 pinpointer here for $159. Also excellent to have. Waterproof. Works really well. I love the MI6. And then the last one on here is my shovel, the Root Slayer shovel. And I really love that. The rest of the stuff on there is video stuff, but also great to have. So again, I just wanted to sort of touch on some of those accessories. Michael, you got any more that we can add to this list?
I'm sure we can think of some. As far as on Amazon, we both have a couple. I use Predator shovels as well.
Right.
That's a great company, and I've used those for years, and they're great shovels.
Well, and the shovel here is the same one too that they're using on Curse of Oak Island. So you guys that are big Oak Island fans, it's the same one that you see Rick Lagina digging with. He's using a Root Slayer. So
Right.
yeah, it's the same shovel that you're seeing on there. But these were just a few of the accessories. I do have them on the Amazon affiliate store for those people that are interested. And you don't have to buy them from my store, but my store link is down there below on the banner flashing up. If you are interested, it just goes and it helps my channel if you buy anything off of the Amazon affiliate store. I do make commission off of it. I have to state that, or Amazon will get me. But it is commission based. So if you do buy something, it does come back to me and it does go back into the channel. So again, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much if you buy something from the Amazon affiliate store. So that is that. All right, Michael. So let's see here. Metal Tank with CZ Kid says you should carry the puck to slide to the back foam puck and make the XP Days 2 light real quick. Have it set up on my 11-inch coil with Steve Goss's carbon fiber S shaft. Yeah, that would be a nice setup. I love just taking the WS6 puck off, like Michael was saying, and running it not on the shaft. And it does lighten it up some, and especially when I'm swinging the 13-inch coil. It really, really, really helps out. What do you think about that, Michael, with the WS6 and the 13-inch coil?
Yeah, I that's why I run it most of the time with that WS6 and the 13-inch, and I had the light upper shaft as well. I have two shafts, and the other one is the one with the plastic molded arm cuff,
Right.
and it does reduce the weight a little bit on it, but it helps if you run it with the WS6, that shaft, and the 13-inch coil.
Right. So Wild here says, how is the MI6 working now? Any connection problems since the updated firmware? Um, Wild here, I do not have mine connected. I don't know if Michael has his connected too. Do you have yours connected, Michael, through your headphones?
I do, and it's I haven't seen any problems. It's worked fine. The last couple of times I've went out since the update, and I hadn't seen any problems with it.
Right. Heavy Metal Detectors Facebook group says, what do you think about using a sling with the 13-inch coil? It can be heavy, but it's really not. If you're using the WS6 and you take the WS6 off and put it in a little pouch or put it in an armband or whatever you're going to do with it, it does make it really light. But I mean, you could use a sling with it, I'm sure. But I have not found it to be too terrible. I've used it on the beach too, and I haven't had really that much of a problem. Just remember this, that even with that 13-inch coil and you still got the WS6, you're still lighter than most metal detectors out there that have the big coil on them. I mean, you're still less than 3 pounds,
Right.
even with the 13-inch coil on there. So that's one thing to keep in mind, and that's what makes the DS2 so great. And that's why I think you're seeing, and Michael can attest to that, I think that's why you're seeing a lot of women gravitating to it too, because it's a lighter machine. They don't get that arm fatigue, and it's just a good lightweight machine. And the build of it is excellent, and so that's why you're seeing people, gravitate to the Deus 2, and you're seeing a lot of female detectors gravitate more to the Deus 2. And I can think of a few that I know personally that are using the Deus 2 because of the lightweight feel of that machine for sure, and the ergonomics of that machine. It's pretty well balanced.
Joe Dirt was asking, are there any negatives with version 2.0? And there's none that I've ran into. I've ran it 2.0 some, and I know you updated and with that Xtrem Hunter.
Right.
I don't know if you've hunted with it, but I hadn't seen any negatives with it.
Right. BK says that he's been having a little problems with his MI6 connecting. BK, have you updated to 2.0 yet? Or are you still running 1.1 or 0.71? So that would be interesting. 5 is here. He says, I'm late, but I'm here. He said, I will watch the replay. Yeah, we're going to be going for a little bit more. We're going to go probably another 10 minutes or so. But I do not have my Pinpointer connected to it. and I know Michael says he does, but I've never really connected it. And I just like being able to hear it outside of my headphones. So that's just me. But some people love that. I'm just crazy, I guess.
And they may want to try disconnecting and reconnecting it again. I think that might would help it. Because it seems like early on, not in 2.0, but I think in 1.1, I was having some problems, and I disconnected and reconnected,
You haven't had any
that
problem
seemed to fix that. Yeah.
Right. James says, I hope the update works. I have 2 MI6 pinpointers on the way to the repair center to be updated. Well, I hope they do too, James, and hopefully you'll get those back really, really soon. Joe Dirt says, thanks, Brian. Appreciate you, Joe Dirt. Always. Thank you for being here with us tonight too, as well. Wild here says that 2.0 pinpoint auto tune problems. Like I said, I'm not running it through my head, but Michael's saying that he hasn't had any problems with it. So I'm not real sure why that's happening, but that's something that you might want to bring up with your dealer and with XP and let them know. I can let them know too that some people are having issues with it as well, but I'll be glad to pass that along.
That is a newer MI6 that I have. I've had it, maybe 2 weeks, I think 3 weeks.
Right.
It's a newer one, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it,
Yeah. Metal Detecting with CZ Kid says, I'm at 2.0 and RC connecting to MI6 can be iffy. I will pass that along, guys. I promise you. I'll send an email out as soon as we get off and see if I can find out anything that's going on with that and what might be the remedy for it. And if I do, I'll make a video and share it with everyone as soon as I find out. But I'll definitely pass that along. But you guys too need to let your dealers know, and I would also let XP know too as well. But I'll try to see if I can get some sort of clarification on that for you guys as well. SoFlo Treasure Finds is in here with us tonight. Glad to have you in here. Andrew says that I'm still experienced with the MI6 connecting, not as much when I used it with the Deus One. So it looks like a lot of people are having some issues with it. He says that he thinks it got worse with 2.0. So, and guys, that's why we're on here, because again, when I get information like that, then that's something that I can relay back to XP and let them know what's going on. But again, we're sharing.
I haven't been running, I hadn't been running 2.0 very long. I've run 1.1, so that's something I'll take a look at it and make sure it runs good. Next time I go out, I'll remember that.
Right.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, and Wild here says tell them about pinpointing 2.0, please. And I will, Wild here. I'll definitely do that, because it looks like that's a common issue for a lot of people since they've updated to 2.0. So again, I'll definitely pass that along to XP and let them know. And if I find out something, I'll make a video and try to get that up this week. My sports season ended this past week, so I'm all metal detecting and teaching. So I'm hoping to make a lot more content. I've got a video coming up too. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But again, I'm going to be all on this. And any way I can help anyone to help solve that problem, then I'm going to definitely try and do my best for you guys, because you guys are just awesome. And I appreciate everyone being on here. Detector 2 Guns is in here. Glad to have you, Detector 2 Guns. Appreciate it. And let's see. BK says 1.10 versions I have disconnected and reconnected. When I turn on the MI6, it will show connected, but not work until I turn it off and turn the MI6 back on again. Okay, BK. Yeah. So looks like we got something going on. Have you guys tried to I know you don't want to do this, but have you tried re-updating your machine, your RC or your WS6, whichever one you're having the issues with, and just see if that might help? That would be the other thing that I would would recommend. What do you think, Michael? Anything you can think of that could help these guys?
Well, that would be about the only thing you could do, and it sounds like there's still quite a problem with it. So maybe
Yeah,
maybe you can reach out to XP and let them know about it.
I will. I'm definitely going to do that. And Heavy Metal Detectors Facebook groups wants to know if I publish my show on any audio podcast platforms like Spotify, etc. I've been looking into that, and I may take some of my older live streams and turn them into podcasts. And I'm going to try to get those up on Spotify and see what we can do there too. But boy, this pinpoint thing, I didn't realize it was that big of a deal, big of a problem for people. So again, guys, I don't use the pinpoint through my headphones, but I hate to hear that you guys are having problems with that. But we'll see if we can get to the bottom of it. Surfside Dan says he's having the same problem too. So we'll see. He says, I never went to 2.0. I don't have an Xtrem. Didn't see the need. The only thing, and we just talked about this a few minutes ago, Detector 2 guns. The only other addition to 2.0 was that Goldfield was improved a little bit for sensitivity on smaller gold nuggets, and then the bone conduction headphones, and then the Xtrem. Those were the three things that were added with 2.0, but everything else should have been the same. And now we're sort of investigating a little problem that people are having with pairing their MI6 up since they've updated the 2.0. So Carson Chris wants to know, how did my team do? My team finished 6th in the state, which is really, really good. I'm extremely proud of them, and thank you for asking, Carson Chris. I've got a great group of athletes that I worked with this past year, so I'm excited. I'm excited for the future too. I've been coaching for 25 years too, so I've been doing that for a while as well, and I love working with kids. So really good. James Bazell says the only way to fix connection problem is to send the MI6 in for an update. The problem is not with the control unit. Okay, James. Well, I'm gonna find out. Like I said, I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna ask them direct and see if I can find out what's going on. BK says it done the same with previous versions as well. And I've got an older MI6. Maybe I should try to pair my older MI6 with my machine. I wonder what the age is of these MI6s that they're trying to pair. I wonder how long people have had them. That would be the next question I have. So, yeah. Surfside Dan says he'll bring his tomorrow if it's not raining. Yeah, and Surfside Dan and I are getting together tomorrow. We are taking the Xtrem out if the rain will cooperate, and we're going to the lot. We're going to run the Xtrem over where Dan found the gun. We're going to do it today, but it's been raining all day. It's cold. It's just been not a good day to take the Xtrem out, but we are going to be taking that out tomorrow. We are going to video it. Dan's going to have the GPR. We're going to have the Deus 2 metal detectors. We're going to have the 2 Xtrems. We're going to have 2 Xtrems on this property, and we're going to see what we can find there. And we're going to dig, and we're going to video some of the things that we find, and hopefully we find something. So we're looking forward to that. I'm real excited about taking the Xtrem out and using it on this property, as it has given up a lot of really nice finds. And we're hoping the Xtrem will give us some more finds that maybe we missed with our Deus 2 machines, and we can get a little bit deeper. Michael, you think there's any more finds out there for us?
It's got to be. There's so much iron there. There's no telling what's in that iron, and all iron artifacts like that gun,
Right.
that is something. Who knows?
I know. That's just I think there's something else in there. And I've already been over it one time with the Xtrem, just sort of playing around. I didn't video anything yet, but tomorrow we are going to try to video some stuff if we're able to get out and this rain will cooperate. Joe Dirt says, hey, Teach, can I borrow the Xtrem for a month or so? You better bring a backhoe, because like I said, some of these targets are really deep.
Right.
Calabash actually used his this past week, and he he dug for a while on one target. So, but I'm hey, we're gonna look for the shallow ones tomorrow if we do get out, and that's gonna be great. And hopefully we find something really cool. James says if you contact the repair center and your MI6 is less than 2 years old, they will update it for free. Thank you, James. Michael, did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, James just shared that with us. So, guys, you guys that have an MI6 that's an older version, James says you can contact them and you can send it to them and they'll update it for free. And hopefully that'll help with the connection problems. Detector Two Guns, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, buddy. I really appreciate your support and constantly being here and being on the channel. That is always great to know and great to have subscribers like you that are always here and they're always listening, and we appreciate you so much. BK says he's had his for a while. I think I got it when XP had the promotion. When you purchased the Deus, it came with it. Yeah, so yeah, BK, then maybe that's one thing you need to do is try to see about sending it back. Wild here says problem with Pinpointer 2.0 not using Pinpointer. Auto tunes too much, not allowing the discrimination or determination of the depth of the target.
Well, I think XP released another version of 2.0 because I remember them having that problem, and so you may just want to go back re-update, reapply that 2.0 software, and hopefully that'll fix that problem because I remember that was one of the problems, and they kind of amended the update and put it back up on their site.
Right. Well, like I said, I didn't realize that was as big of a problem until just now, really, because
Well, that he's talking about the actual pinpoint.
Yeah, I know what he's
function.
Yeah, but I didn't realize the other thing either, though. So that's what's got me sort of baffled. I didn't realize that many people were having problems with it, but it does look like that is an issue. Tin Man said he found his second partial tag. This time it's a porter. I also have an upcoming large privy dig. Oh, wow,
Awesome.
Tin Man. Yeah, that'll be good. Well, good luck. I hope you find something really great and send me some pictures, Tin Man. I'd love to have some pictures from you because I know you dig some great stuff down there where you're at. So would love to see some of that stuff. Detector Two Guns says Calabash dug a foxhole. He sure did. I watched that video. He dug pretty deep, didn't he, Michael?
Yeah, he did.
Right.
They were digging for a while.
Right. SoFlo, appreciate it, SoFlo. Thank you so much. Yeah, we try to share a good bit of information. A lot of it's XP Days 2 stuff, but we share some other things too. And we've got a great group of people who are just very knowledgeable, just like we're talking about the XP Days 2. And we all share information with each other, and it just makes it fun. We just have a good time and share information and try to help each other out the best we can. So, yeah, we're extremely excited about this group and about this channel because we just have some amazing supporters too, who are always willing to offer up information and always willing to talk. So we really appreciate everyone, and we appreciate the donation that goes straight back into the channel. And we we're always looking for things too. And I bought a couple of cameras over the last few weeks. And so it would be nice. A lot of this will go right back into that kind of stuff. Carson Chris says, hey, you're going to need a bigger shovel. Right. Now, Michael's son was going to come down and help us dig. And then we got rained out today. So now it's going to be on, I guess it's going to be on me and Dan. And I got a feeling Dan's going to make me do a good bit of digging. I hope not. So SoFlo says you got to come to Florida Hunt 10. We would love to come to Florida Hunt 10. We might have to see about doing that. I've heard some good things about that hunt as well. That's a really good one for sure. Thank you, Chris. Great show tonight. A lot of good info. We really appreciate it. Heavy Metal Detectors. He says, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. We're just trying to share information with each other, and the information that Michael and I know, the information that XP will feed me every now and then, and try to share y'all some of the latest equipment and things that are coming out, and talking about them and getting that information out there to everyone. So we're always here to help. And again, I'm going to try to find out what XP's official stance is on the 2.0 and the Pinpointer coming through the headphones, because that's got me wondering what's going on there. So SoFlo Detector 2 Guns says that he wants to know when and where Florida Hunt 10 is. So you can pass that information along in the chat. And he just did. Thank you. We appreciate it. I'm glad to have Michael on here with me too. I've done it by myself, and it always makes it a lot easier when someone else is on here with you, and someone that's very knowledgeable. Michael is a really good metal detectors. He tests machines. He helps me out with a lot of things too, behind the scenes, just telling me some of the things that he's seeing, and that helps me in determining, how I'm going to set up my machine and some of the things that we're going to use and that kind of stuff. So Michael is an awesome guy to have on here and sharing the live stream with us. So we're so thankful and so grateful that Michael takes his time out to join us on this live stream. SoFlo says February 22nd, Detector 2 Guns is when the Florida Hunt is. And of course, he said, sweet. Again, Carson Chris says, thanks for the update on MI6. I switched my carrot because of the issue. I will, again, I'm going to try to get to the bottom of that. SoFlo says February 23rd weekend is the Florida Hunt.
That's my birthday. Let's go, Brian.
Yeah, you want to go on your birthday, Michael?
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping XP's talked about maybe possibly me going to a hunt sometime in February or March. We'll see how that works out. Metal Detector in northwestern Wisconsin says, dang, I'm late. I have to watch the replay later. Go back and check out the replay. A lot of good information. We talked a lot. We went all over the board. We showed some finds. We talked about accessories. We talked about programs. We've talked about all kinds of stuff, and it's been a good show. We really appreciate everyone being here. Tesh Ridge Digger says, I'm from Pensacola. I live in St. Martinville, Louisiana. All right. I love Louisiana. Mike, you ever been to Louisiana?
Yeah, I've been through there. I haven't. I didn't get to stop and look around as much as I wanted to.
I used to have an uncle that lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So, and then I had another uncle that lived in Jackson, Mississippi. So I've sort of been out in that neck of the woods. There's a lot of history in that area too. SoFlo says it's in Ocala, Florida. So there you go. All right, Michael. Well, we've been on here about our usual time. We usually run about an hour 10, hour 15. Anything else we want to pass along to everybody tonight? We've covered a lot.
Yeah, we covered a lot tonight. That's good.
Well, I hope everyone that was here at least got something that can help them on their next hunt or their next adventure. That's what this channel is mainly about, is to, try to help people share knowledge, learn from each other, learn from, everybody on here. And again, I think we have one of the best groups on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere else. You guys are awesome. And y'all make this go by so fast. It just seems like poof, and an hour's gone. And I really appreciate that. And it makes it a lot of fun too. So again, I love the group that we have, and appreciate each and every one of you. Michael, any parting words before we leave?
I had a good time tonight, guys, and hopefully we can get out and do some hunting here pretty soon. It's cooling off. I know deer season's in here, and it's a lot of people can't get in the woods or the fields because of that. But hopefully you can get out to some sites and enjoy this cool weather and make some great finds.
Right. And I'm going to be taking out the Xtrem tomorrow. I got a video coming up from a plantation that Dan and I have been to, and that Dan has been working on diligently with the museum. I'm going to have that coming up. Should have that out either tomorrow or Monday. So stay tuned for that. And again, stay tuned for the video with the Xtrem. Hopefully we'll find something tomorrow. We are going to video some of it, and hopefully we get on something that's really good. So stay tuned for that. One last thing too, remember that we have opened up our membership program on YouTube. It is $9.99. It's called the Relic Hunter. The Relic, true Relic Hunter level is what I called it. And it's $9.99. You get loyalty badges. You get a monthly video that we do just for members. It is passing along some information, things that everyone can use. If you are interested in it, all you have to do is hit the join button underneath the video, any of my videos, or you can go to the community post right now. You can click on that link and you can join there. And again, we're trying to build our membership up there and bring you some special content there that you're not going to get on here. But we are going to continue to do our weekly live streams. So we will be back here every week sharing a live stream either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Right now, we're going to try to get back onto a schedule. But again, we'll be back on here sharing information, hanging out with each other, and sharing finds too. So we've got a lot going on over the next few months. And if I find out something from XP on the Pinpointer issue, pairing up and that kind of stuff, I will definitely make a video, pass along what they say, and so on. So I will get that, guys, to you. And I appreciate you guys letting me know too. So that's awesome. Thank you, Carson Chris, for the donation. Again, donations go straight back into this. And and he says, thanks, I've driven 100 miles listening tonight. Well, we appreciate you, Carson Chris. You're a regular on here, and your support is very much appreciated. Dan says, thank you, SoFlo. He was in the 101st Airborne. Sure was. Dan, a veteran, serving, and congratulations, and special shout out to our veterans today for providing their service, since it is Veterans Day, November 11th. And really appreciate those guys and all the sacrifices and things that they have done for our country. So happy Veterans Day to all veterans out there. We really appreciate you. All right, Michael. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, it is. We had a good show tonight. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great show. And again, hopefully you got something out of this show that you can carry with you on your next adventure. Try some things out, and again, we will be back next week with another live stream. Sign up for the membership if you're interested in that. We are going to do one live stream during the month that will be something special for you guys. And then also too, if you sign up for it, like Wisco Detect's already signed up for it, you get a loyalty badge that will appear on all of your comments showing that you are a big time supporter of the channel. And again, we greatly appreciate that. Okay, guys, we're going to check out of here. And Michael, you can tell everybody good night.
Good night, everyone. And like Bart said, watch out for deer driving around. They're running around everywhere. I almost hit one on the way home this afternoon.
Right. All right, guys, y'all have a great and fantastic rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys next weekend, and we'll put up a post. Look for those videos, and we'll see you guys really, really soon on our next adventure. Okay, take care, guys. We'll see y'all soon. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Take care.
Good night.